All right. All right, everyone. We're here today to talk about 2603 South Halsted. It's currently zone M12. The applicant is proposing a change to B33 to allow for the building of a four-story building with a retail unit on the ground floor and then three residential units on the above that. We have the building owners and the zoning attorney, and please, if you could, do a brief introduction, and Nick, if you can take us away with the presentation.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much. So again, my name is Nick Fintikis.
Dave, do you want to come off mute?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Can you hear us?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
yes.
All right, perfect. So again, my name is Nick Fintikis, and I'm one of the attorneys at the law offices of Sam Banks. And we are working on the proposed rezoning at 2603 South Halsted. Again, it is a 3,000 square foot vacant lot, currently zoned M1-2. And the plan is to develop the property with a new four-story building that would have a retail unit on the first floor and then three residential units above. The proposed building will be supported by four parking spaces, two surface parking spaces at the rear, and then two garage spaces at the rear of the building. The reason we need a zoning change is because the current M12 zoning does not allow for any residential uses. It also puts limits on the size of retail uses in the district. So we're proposing a zoning change to B3-3, and this is considered a type 1 zoning change, excuse me, because we're coming from a district that doesn't allow residential to one that would. So what the type 1 zoning means is if we have the neighbor support and the alderman support to proceed with the application, the approval would be tied to the plan set that we're going to show you tonight. So I don't know, Charles, if you are, or if somebody can screen share, we could bring up the plan set, just kind of talk everybody through the plan set and then go from there.
Let me see if I can do this here.
She's screen sharing. I'm sorry. I'm trying to operate off Alderman Lee's computer.
Charles, while you're doing that,
Yeah. Would someone mind sharing? And then I'll see if I can grant some permissions. Oh, here we go. I got them.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Fleischman. I'm a manager of Landex LLC, Landex Holding Company, and we went in and spoke with the alderman's office and showed her these plans. She obviously did not interested in having anything manufacturing based built on the lot. We thought to be consistent with what's happening with the rest of the block, it made sense to have commercial on the first floor, and then there will be three rental units up above. They're 3-bedroom, 2-bath, with they'll have nice finishes. We have done similar residential units in neighborhoods throughout the city, including Bronzeville and Woodlawn. And we've also spoke with the alderman about the commercial space and told her that we'll work with her office to bring in the type of commercial tenant that's beneficial to the community.
Thank you, Dave. Nick, do you mind just speaking to the parking design? I know there were some concerns in the room about that.
Sure. So if you're looking, if you could keep it right there, the first page, we have parking coming off of the rear of the property, so the alley, two surface parking spaces, and then on the west side of the lot, there's a driveway to access the two parking spaces on the rear of the building. So those would be under your cursor in the light gray area. Right there. So those two parking spaces. So a total of four parking spaces for three residential units. We understood that parking could be a concern, and we wanted to make sure that we had a minimum one-to-one parking, and our plan is able to accommodate a fourth parking space in the rear of the building. So a total of 4 parking spaces for the mixed-use building.
Thank you. Should we open the floor to questions? Anyone in the room wanna?
Where's the where would it be the dumpsters be at? In the building or outside the building or in the alley or
Um,
where would you?
there is a trash enclosure, I believe. Nick, do you
Yes.
want to speak to that?
Is it-
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so we were able to, because of the way we organized the parking at the rear of the lot, we were able to put an on-site trash dumpster. So that's showing exactly where you have the screen right now. And the benefit there is because we have that drive aisle on the west side of our property. On delivery or pickup days, we'd be able to roll the dumpster out, access the or for the pickup, refuse pickup, and then we'd be able to roll the dumpster back into that enclosure. So it will not be on the alley and it will not be in the parking spaces. It'll be in between the parking spaces, again, behind the building, but not at the alley side.
Is it would be like inside
So-
between parking? Is that
sorry.
where is it exactly the dumpster they would be?
So the trash enclosure is right here, but
Oh.
because there's a whole path during trash pickup days, they're gonna wheel that over and then put it right by here. So am I correct in my rendering of that, Nick?
Exactly.
So
Yes.
the public access to the alley won't be blocked off. And, as we've said in the meeting, I mean, prior to the meeting, anytime you have that issue, just call our office because public access to the alley should always be clear. That's part of the municipal law.
係啦，反正唔會喺後邊，即係唔會喺嗰度攞垃圾。係啦，自己入去攞嘅，佢有私人公司自己請嘅，250蚊一個月嘅。
Can you translate for a moment?
She just concerned about it's just not in the alley, not blocking everybody's parking space. So yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, so I guess there's particular concern about, and that's from a different neighbor, I believe, but there's a concern that the trash can be blocking their access to the alley because they live in adjoining homes that where they park their cars in a lot that they can only access through the alley. So that's been one concern. Is there
Yeah.
anything
yeah.
else?
Also, another constituents are concerned about the how close to that building to 2607 because this is just next building.
Let me see. So it should be, I don't know why the
Three and then
it looks like the resolution is off, but 1 second.
be like just next. Yeah, right next to. Do you know how the flow is gonna be? Like 1 feet away or?
Nick, do you know the answer to that?
Are we talking about the side setbacks?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so so it's a 24-foot wide lot. The building to the south of us is zoned manufacturing, and the building to the north of us is zoned commercial. And the buildings are built lot line to lot line. Our development, and Charles, correct me if I'm wrong, is of east to west, or yeah, side to side. There's no side setback, but there's also no side setback requirement. So the front portion of the property will have building from lot line to lot line. And
Actually, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah, we, on the site plan, it shows we've got 6-inch side setbacks on each side, so it doesn't go actually to the lot line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is no there is no side setback requirement.
Correct,
But you are providing 6 inches on both sides.
correct.
Got it.
setback 嗰個冇要求，係話你可以 set，因為佢嗰個 lot 咧，你係可以起到盡，但係佢呢間咧，佢係6寸咁樣。6寸係咁多，即係多埋咯。係啊，你冇呢個起到盡。係啊，佢冇要求嘅，你起到盡。
Nick, could you speak to if it's okay, like if we can speak one at a time, but Nick, if it's okay, would you be able to speak to whether this is similar to in character with a lot of the other blocks? I mean, a lot of the other properties on the block.
It is. And the building, like I said, to the north of us is right at the corner is lot line to lot line, and that extends all the way to the rear lot line. The building to the immediate south is also built right up against the shared lot line. And then I'm looking at, I know it's a newer construction project south of that, but those buildings are also close to one another, side to side. And then as you extend further south on Halsted, the buildings are essentially all next to each other, very limited or small side setbacks. And again, I think that's a function of the fact that some of these lots are only 24 feet wide in width. But also the underlying zoning districts do not impose side setback requirements or even front setback requirements. Those front and side setback requirements come typically with residential zoning, or if your property abuts a residential zoning district. None of these properties do, and I think for that reason, you see a lot of buildings that are built at least to their side setbacks.
So,
Yeah.
as with every other, like,
Other
on this whole block,
Yes,
there's very little side setbacks between the buildings
yes,
because this is own manufacturing, but what it's become is a commercial district.
yes,
And so if it were residential,
yes.
it would have to.
Next is a residential, it's only 2 floor, but you guys build for 4 floor, not gonna impact our house. Because only 6 inches.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
你講6寸啦，咁如果你兩邊啲垃圾走晒落去嗰度咧，都冇辦法入去傾啦，你點咋
？She's concerning about when you're building the property, like it's
it would obscure her view.
Yeah, there's a lot of dust come out
Oh.
between 6 inches in there. If she wants to clean up the dust or trash in between.
So during construction season?
Yeah.
Is there anyone on the call who would be able to speak to the efforts we would take to mitigate dust and general, to keep order during the construction season?
Or
if not, we can get that answer later and then confer with the alderman and then get the answer back to the community.
Yeah, generally speaking, what we would do is we would lay gravel down in the setbacks between the buildings, and then it would be easy if any trash accumulates with a blower. We'll fence those off so that no trash will be able to get in there. But if we need to, we can use a blower to be able to blow any trash out of the property and to keep it clean.
she's also concerned about after.
Okay, yeah, that one we have to confer with the alderman about, but
Yes.
so the concern about construction, I think one thing that we could do is so that to make sure that neighbors or the ward office has the contact for the construction manager. So if there are any issues that neighbors face during construction, we can make sure that those are resolved with the manager. To your concern about this building potentially being tall in a way that would obstruct your view, I have no real answer for that. We have to talk to the alderman about that. That would be factually the case, but it's also factually the case that this is totally permitted under the zoning law.
你哋幫我睇下咁聽，你如果係咁樣，第時咧你成日啲垃圾咁吹晒落嗰條巷嗰度，點樣傾咧？
Yeah, she's still
你
concerning
根本
about
都冇辦法
the
入，
future.
你成日喺度堆垃圾啊嗰條巷，因為你都
Can you tell her that we have her contact information. Let's
Yes.
talk to Alderman Lee about it, and then we'll get back to her.
區長講呢件事，
係咁係咁，咁到時你見到嗰度全部係垃圾，因為佢好大。
遲啲講啊，同區長講。
Any other
你嗰
questions?
啲斜等我側就深，我可以入到去咁樣出去掃一掃。
唔係，你嗰一區原先係唔係 for residential 噶嘛？嗰度成個 block 你見到嘛？你見到小台北嗰度，其實佢係冇嗰個冇嗰個要求話係有罅剩嘅。原先係咁，遲啲再同區長去反映呢件事。依家睇下仲有冇其他嘅意思。你頭先一個問題你問咗。
我知道，
係啦。
我想講一陣你係小台北嗰度咧，嗰時湯生佢係講話呢條係 Halsted可以唔使留，但係佢間屋咧就向後去咗， 所以我可以入去天啊，即
OK，
係佢唔會係好高我嗰度。
嗯
佢就算有條巷咧，我都可以入到去，因為佢個 building 向後去咗。
Can you take a minute to translate?
she said that 咩生話the
The
owner of the build Tom being the owner of Taiwan Cafe
Okay.
Cafe
Perfect.
his property is at let's step back a little bit
係多，
back a little bit and oh yeah the mall right yeah so when he built that property he stepped back the building back a little bit so she can have a space to have her
到天啊，
to clean
Yeah.
it up that the space in between the buildings but now if that 2603 is a build like only have 6 inches left she
Yeah.
won't be able to have them clean in the future.
16.
Yeah, what, how about if I have problem with her wall? If I want to fix, there's no way to fix,
Mm.
right?
And
It's fixed
her
up.
her own property as well. Like in the future, she has
Damage on
structures of her own building, she wants to
fix
do
it.
that. There's no way to fix house from outside. That's me.
I mean, your concerns are noted, and we'll definitely follow up about this and ask the alderman,
Mark低咗已經。
and come back to you with a consideration. Are there
If,
any?
if I can, if
Yes.
I can offer just a point,
Mhm.
once, assuming the building is built, that's going to provide another layer of separation or protection to the neighbor's, north wall. During construction, if there are any concerns or if she would like access to be able to assess if any portions need to be repaired, we would be able to work with her to do that so that she could see the conditions. But we actually would think that by putting up a building next to hers on that side, it's going to help prevent the typical wear and tear on that side of the building. And obviously, as David said, there's an opportunity during construction to make sure that that space is cleaned out because they're not going to be able to build without, having control of the lot anyway. My last point is, and I know that we've talked a lot about setbacks, I just please keep in mind that the current zoning, although it does not allow residential, the current zoning M12 does not have a front, side, or rear setback requirement. And it also does not have a technical height requirement. In theory, someone could build a 4-story building lot line to lot line. Now, of course, we have to get over the FAR issue. But the development or the footprint of the building that we're proposing, we believe is more in keeping with mixed use, retail at grade, residential above, typical of what you see up and down Halsted, and very different from what would be allowed with the current manufacturing zoning.
Right. So thank you, Nick, for that. I think the concern I think that we want to make sure is translated is also that it's if the zoning as is, someone can build from however they want, and it's a
Yes.
manufacturing
Exactly.
facility. So yeah, if
Okay.
you could-
如果依笪地原先嗰個松嶺個嗰個要求咧，其實係可以標到盡晒。但係如果佢轉咗依家嗰度，佢就剩翻6寸咯，咁嘅意思咯。即係佢話可以係完全係冇空位剩嘅空間。即係原先嗰個，如果佢轉咗之後咧，佢依家係有六寸咁樣兩邊有少少剩低俾你咁樣。佢意思就係。
I mean, at the same time, I think, there's nothing that we can resolve about these issues today. I think your concerns are well noted. I would suggest that you come back to meet the alderman. We can't speak to whatever arrangements that you had with the owner of the property on the other side of your building, but we will do whatever we can to obviously consider everyone's concerns and find a solution to this that works out for everyone. Okay?
今日係唔係做決定嘅時候？不過今日俾你哋提意見，咁你哋今日所提出嘅意見咧會 mark 低咗，咁等區長佢到時開完會翻嚟之後咧，我會反映俾佢聽，同埋你哋如果想去約佢同佢反映件事嘅話，都可以約時間嘅，起碼都要2個星期之後先至會決定嘅。佢開咗個窗口係俾我哋去繼續去反映意見， 起碼2個星期先至會決定嘅。OK？
我想你得低同區長啫，
嗯
即係我驚到時咧就你得個6寸咧，就算你好多垃圾喺入邊，我都冇辦法遷。咁你哋變到好似變到垃圾場嗰邊飛嗰度。
嗯
即係你如果你係譬如你用1尺啊，咁我側轉嘅身咧，我都可以攞個掃把去掃啊嘛，你知嘛？
嗯
即係你變到個6寸，我根本係冇辦法入
，mark 低咗嘅。
嚇。你如果用1尺咧，我就可以側轉嘅身就可以掃啦。
都係咁講，佢原先嗰粒地，如果第二個
What's the concern about parking?
No clean up
Clean up?
yes
因為
Could you translate?
你吹好多垃圾。
she keeps saying that if you just give her like 6 inches in between that building and then she cannot clean up in between the gaps, that if you have at least 1 feet she can like at least have stick inside
To be clear, that'll be our property, so we'll keep it clean.
佢因為嗰個係佢哋嘅 property too，所以佢會 clean up in between the gaps that she's
I mean, that is one of the benefits of this. It makes use of a vacant lot, right? Right now, there's no one really looking after that property. So it could be the case that, there's a lot more upkeep than,
OK， 佢
you know?
就得啦，咁就
佢 clean 佢個 part。
Okay.
She's okay.
All right. So we'll leave everything open, ultimately review. Oh, one last question.
The purpose for that building. So the first floor is the retail.
Yes.
Second, third, and fourth is become a
Residential.
It's a rental property or what?
Could you speak to that, Dave?
There'll be rental units, 3-bedroom, 2-bath rental units.
睡房嗰種租出去。
咁我都清楚嗰啲租客，所以黐出咁住都得啦。如果係咩就係好多唔同嘅人入咗去嗰度，真係
有 parking lot 嘅租客。
明白。即係唔係賣俾人哋嗰啲啊，淨係 rental property 嗰個係邊級
It's only for rental, right?
Correct.
仲有我想問佢幾時啊？
When is gonna be the construction starting date?
Could someone speak to the timeline?
Do you have
Nick, how long will it take to complete the zoning if we're successful?
If we're successful, we're probably looking at between 2 and 3 months to complete the zoning. And then after that, Charles and his team will be able to go in on permit. And I don't know if this is a self-cert or what timeline it would be.
It's not. It'll probably be roughly about the same amount of time, probably about 3 months for permits.
So we're looking at about 6 months from now, so call December, January. And then construction season obviously wouldn't start until the weather breaks. So construction, I don't think would begin until, late winter, early spring of 26. And then David, for a build like this, how much time are you anticipating to deliver the actual structure?
7 months.
Okay, so hopefully by, June, July of 26, the building's up and delivered.
No, we couldn't start construction until probably March 1st when the weather warms up.
Mhm.
Okay. We're going out till
Yeah,
probably fall.
late summer, early fall of 26.
Okay.
對嗰場我間屋係木屋嚟嘅，所以咧佢挖地基嗰陣時咧會唔會有問題㗎喎
she's concerning about her building on 2607. Yeah, her house is like siding 嚟嘅wood structure. So when you digging the hole in the like building structures, would that be affected to her property?
No, we have very professional construction crews. We've done this many times before, and there will be no damage to your property. We're very careful with that. And we're not selling the building. We're keeping the building. And so we want to be good neighbors. So we'll be very extra careful here to maintain good relationships with all the neighbors.
佢唔係砌積木嚇，唔係第一次起嘅，咁所以佢有好安全嘅嗰啲professional 嗰啲人去起屋嘅，即係唔會整冧你間屋。佢亦都唔係想
唔係我驚佢一陣整咧，變就整我呢間屋變 下沉啊咁之類嗰啲咁嘅
你
嘢。
可以同佢講，係啊
啊，
如果有啲咩問題可以同佢講，佢要 work with 係啊，佢會同你 work together，即係佢都唔係話做起完就走嗰種嘅，成年噶嘛都，下年成
有時唔知嘅。
你可以揾人 check 噶。
Um,
She's not she doesn't know if it will be impact to her property or not, but I told her that
即係會唔會嚇
we'll follow up a schedule. We have a follow-up meeting with sorry, I'm just admitting someone. We'll have a follow-up meeting. We'll set something up with you to meet the alderman, and then we'll take all these considerations in and then see what she says about it. Okay.
因為呢啲我唔知噶嘛，你下
Well,
沉咗
we understand. What
she's
It's-
concerned about the cake in like future, but
it's not intuitive, so we want to make sure you're comfortable, and we want to make sure you understand exactly what's going on. Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. We'll try to wrap up. It sounds like we'll have to have another community meeting at some point. Again, we will tell everyone once Alderman Lee makes that determination, but there are some concerns here that we'll have to go back and consider. But we'll keep everyone posted. This will be open for another 2 weeks for us to get the comments together, and then we'll work with the applicants and the zoning attorney to find a solution that hopefully works for as many people as possible, within reason. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. If folks
Thank you.
could stay on a little bit, so that once we wrap up here, and then we can touch base. Thank you. Okay. Yes.